Morality. Morality is defined as the distinction of good and bad. Morality has been around since man has been aware of himself. When people usually talk about morality, however, they often think of religion. Many people cite that they get their form of morale from their religion and or tradition. However, as we know now, that morality is actually subjective and varies from culture to culture. That's why in some cultures women are treated as second class citizens, and in others, pink is seen as a masculine color. One philosopher by the name of Friedrich Nietzsche, very popular, was a great opponent to the idea of morality being objective. In the book Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche goes to critique the belief of the metaphysicians of how their belief of the antithesis, for those who don't know, antithesis is defined as a figure of speech that uses contradiction of ideas, words, as well as clauses. Never let them second guess their own beliefs. On the next page, which would be page 5 of chapter 1, he goes on the idea of morality. Quote, "The falseness of an opinion is not for us any objection to it. It is here, perhaps, that our new language sounds more strangely. The question is, how far an opinion is life-furthering, life-preserving, species-preserving, and even perhaps species-raring? And we are fundamentally inclined to maintain that the falsest opinions, to which the synthetic judgments a priori belong, are the most indispensable to us. That without a recognition of logical fictions, without a comparison of reality with the purely imagined world of the absolute and immutable, without a constant counterfeiting of the world by means of numbers, man cannot live, that the renunciation of false opinions would be a renunciation of life, which would be a negation to life itself." What he most likely means is that someone that thinks morality as an objective force that rules over our lives. Here's another person that says and believes of a subjective force of morality that we choose what to believe on what is right and what is wrong, is to them a different language that they do not understand and is yet not understood by everyone else. And the notion of opinion, like such as old opinions, is nothing more than holding us back and preventing us from evolving to our next stage of life as a species. Hence what he most likely means as a negation of life. Now, it should be noted that even though Friedrich knew that morality was subjective and that it varied, he was not a dialectical materialist, but an existentialist. So he didn't hold the same views as Marxists and Hegelians would have. However, his argument still holds validity. He shows that man can have morality and break away from dogma to have a healthy lifestyle. Now, it is not to say that religion cannot have morals of its own that we can follow, because it has. St. John Chrysostom is quoted for saying, "Do not the angels differ from us in this respect, that they do not want so many things as we do? Therefore, the less we need, the more we are on our way to them. The more we need, the more we sink down to this perishable life." And this is an example of how humans can do better without wanting more. It's a quote going against greed. This does not just limit itself to Christianity as well. For example, in Otanism or Asatru, which is a form of paganism, it is important virtue to have discipline. And it's stated within a thing they have called the 9 Virtues. It is stated that, quote, "I do what is necessary and right of my own accord, without bribe or threat." So that came from a pagan religion, and I sometimes hear these people say pagans are dirty and they have no morals and they suck. Like, why? I don't know why they're saying that. Most likely because they've fallen for the propaganda against them from the church, and at times they just don't like the fact that they believe in something that they don't. And good morals can even come from religion, which is feared by some people. Like this quote. This quote goes as, "And turn not your face away from people with pride, nor walk in insolence through the earth. Verily, God likes not each arrogant boaster. And be moderate, or show no insolence in your walking, and lower your voice. Really, the harshest of all voices is the voice of the braying ass." Now, actually, this quote came from the Quran. Yes, even Islam has good values. Uh, this quote mostly means it's trying to show how arrogance can turn people away from you, and we as humans should be humble with each other so we can have that form of respect and honesty and honor. Now, I'm not saying that religion has the perfect moral system for everyone, certainly not. It is done by those who find what is right in their eyes. That's what morality really is. It's whoever, whenever anyone wants to do what they feel is right in their heart. Such as St. Nicholas giving presents to the poor people, which is something I think we as Christians should do more. However, there should be morality of the state. As mentioned earlier, it helps maintain stability. That's why most people have morality and have such goals for their own society. These morals should be based on logic and science that is based on the material conditions in order to keep society evolving at a healthy pace. We cannot keep old moral traditions, however, since that will negate the life of human progress. We must grow up and understand that reactionary thought is something that will take us nowhere. It just hold us back, since most of it is just rosy colored pictures of the old days that only benefited the few and not the many. However, that's a topic for another video. I got off track. I apologize. Well, this video has been about morality. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comment section. In the next video, I will go over psychology. And after that, I'll review The Symposium by Plato. This has been Bakura98, signing off.